You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
It's Friday. It's preview week.
Hold on. How's that song go, bro? It's Friday again. It's Friday again. Is that how it goes?
I was thinking of like a complete different song. My mind did not go there.
Yo, how's that song go, bro? Hold up, man. Hold up. You know that song?
No.
It's a dude dancing. Dun, 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 dun.
Hold on, the one that Pitbull sampled.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pitbull's not on it.
No, but
he might have sampled it. Oh yeah, Pitbull did sample it.
Yeah.
He sampled it, but he's not on that song that I'm talking about. I'm talking about this dude. He was dancing everywhere he goes. He does the same dance.
I always thought that was You Lied to Me. You lied to me.
Nah, I never heard that one.
Okay, before that might be I'm not trying to get no strikes on this channel before we hit 1,000 subs. So I'm not trying to play the song I'm thinking of, but maybe like on a YouTube short, I might do all that kind of stuff.
1,000 subs right around the corner. Help us out.
So close. Before we get to the preview, all that kind of stuff, bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, happy birthday to OJ McDuffie. It's his birthday this Friday. He literally blessed us a couple of weeks ago by jumping on the pod. Hopefully we'll get him on back real soon. But happy birthday to OJ McDuffie. Have a great one.
What happy birthday song do y'all sing in London?
So as a black person, we kind of do the traditional like happy birthday, and then like after that, if you're at like a function or a party, the DJ will chuck on Stevie Wonder happy birthday, and then everyone kind of gets a bit hey.
How does that happy birthday go? Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's exactly how it goes over here too. I wasn't sure. Hey, then I heard Michael Jackson bought the rights to the happy birthday song. That's crazy, bro. Like, but I don't know. That could have been a rumor, but dang, that's wild.
I know. I think he might have bought the rights to like the Beatles or something like that. Like Michael Jackson bought rights to some catalog. You're just like, wow, he wants all that bread. Second of all is I kind of feel that we've been doing this for 2-3 years now, and I want to take a bigger role in the podcast, like kind of like I want to be like a rock to to the show, to Go Time Dolphins. And I think others have noticed that. I think they've noticed the bigger role I'm playing, to the point where someone sent us a photo to kind of highlight the role I'm playing and like the new dynamic between myself and you. So before I get out of the way early, to kind of show that there's a new dynamic in town over here at Go Time Dolphins, and this is that dynamic. So shout out to Drakey. As we discussed on the last episode, how tries like Kevin Hart. I think it's only right that we take it forward. We establish this new dynamic. I am The Rock, you are Kevin Hart, and I think there's not much more to say about that, to be honest.
But listen, so for everyone listening to the audio version, Drakey strikes again. Got us on a Photoshop. Kadeem would never be that fit. But hey, while we looking at these Photoshops, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I appreciate Drakey for getting the ones of me with haircuts. You know what I'm saying? Like when you grab my Photoshop, bro, I be having the cleanest cut, and I appreciate that, Drakey. For real, man. I be clean, I be taped up, I be lined up. So you can Photoshop me as long as I got the haircut, as long as I'm cleaned up, I'm cool with it, man. Y'all know what time it is. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy Kadeem. I'm not Kadeem. I'm Charlie Touche. I got my co-host Kadeem Simmons. Dog was blitzing me during the intro. What's up, Kadeem? Why are you interrupting? What's going on?
New dynamic. I'm the Rock, you're Kevin Hart. So if anything, like I'm the host, you're the co-host. So I was going to try and do the intro. I've been practicing in the mirror, but you throw me off now. So it's fine. You keep hold of what you can right now, but just understand I'm coming for your spot. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna be real with you, Kadeem. When I had COVID, for everyone who doesn't know, I was out. I had COVID, and I was out for like 2 months of the podcast. Like no kidding. I missed like, I don't know, 16, 17 episodes. It was a lot last year during the season. Kadeem never got the intro right one time. Not once. Not once. Like he remixed it, threw his own stuff on it. Like the English version, the British version of the intro. I'm like, you know what, Kadeem? It's the thought that counts. A for effort. You feel me? But yeah, it's Go Time Dolphins, man. We back in here. Your favorite podcast for the fans and by the fans. See, I cleaned it up at the
end. And that's cool. All I'm saying is, back then, I didn't want to, that trample on your toes. Like, it's if QB1 goes down injured, but QB1 is declared leader of the team, then, the backup are going to come and do backup things and not really take over. Like, I don't want like a Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe situation. But, there's a difference when the backup has clearly ascended, the QB is clearly not QB1 in, kind of like, sorry to do another AFC East comparison, which isn't the Dolphins, but like a Zach Wilson and, Mike White situation. All I'm saying is that if you're not careful, some of these pick sixes you're throwing, I'm about to jump in and, just like start.
So you see how you blitzed me during the intro and I sidestepped and kept it pushing it and got through it. See,
you called yourself Kadeem Simmons, like exactly. Like you might have picked it back up and like thrown it away, but like
I evaded the rush.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that. Let's jump into the 49ers. This is in terms of a Miami Dolphins offense against another team defense, probably the toughest matchup since I want to say Buffalo, and even Buffalo are missing basically the entire secondary. But I can't think of a team so far this season who there's a genuine, especially since we've seen what the Dolphins offense can do. There's a genuine, can this defense slow the Dolphins down? I don't think the 49ers will stop it in its tracks, but slow it down. Maybe the Dolphins don't put up 30 in one half. We can discuss this midweek. You've had a few more days to think about it. Where are your feelings right now ahead of the game against the 49ers?
I'm not gonna lie, Kadeem. I switched concerned, right? I had the Dolphins going 14-3 this year with two losses to Buffalo, one loss to the Chargers. I'm no longer concerned about the Chargers, and I moved that one loss to San Fran. But then you talked me out of it, bro. Last episode, you're like, bro, who they played? You know what I'm saying? They took L's to the Falcons, to the Bears, the Lions, Tigers, oh my. I'm like, yo, Kadeem, right, bro. Like, look at who did they play? They haven't played an offense like us. Granted, our O-line is banged up, and I'm sure we'll get into that around no huddle. But at the same time, they haven't played an offense like us. And to be fair, there aren't too many offenses in the league that are like ours. So I'm back on feeling good about this game. And I think we come home with the W. I don't think it'll be easy like the 2020, I think it was.
It was, yeah.
I don't think it'll be a smackdown like that. But if they want to help us out and have us breathe easy after the first quarter, I would really love it. You just go in there and wipe the floor with them.
It's so yeah, we discussed this last time, and I went back and looked at who the 49ers have played this season, and you kind of do look at it and go, and again, you can only beat what's put in front of you. For people that look down on who the Dolphins have played, again, like I said, keep that same energy about the 49ers. The 49ers defense, I do think is legit. I do think that they have shown that no matter who they're playing, they're going to stop them essentially. But the quarterback the 49ers have faced so far this season, Justin Fields, and now before Justin Fields really found his feet, Geno Smith, before Geno Smith really found his feet, Russell Wilson, who that's a whole, another issue, Matt Stafford, who has basically spent the entire season banged up, Baker Mayfield / PJ Walker, Marcus Mariota, Patrick Mahomes, Colt McCoy / Trace McSorley, and Andy Dalton. And I believe when they played the Chiefs put up something like 44 against them. So there's a genuine argument and a genuine point to be made that while the 49ers defense is probably the best in the league, when they did play a top 5 offense, it wasn't close. And it'd be very interesting to see what Mike McDaniel has against his former team.
I wanted to say a terminology in the betting world, but it's nowhere near easy money yet. But when you say that, Kadeem, I'll bring that up later. But when you say what you just said, there's some truth into defense wins championships, offense sells tickets. I think the San Fran's defense is legit, and I do think I mentioned on the last episode that San Fran is going to go to the NFC Championship, and I believe the Dolphins are going to go to the AFC Championship. But it's because of San Fran's defense is the reason I think San Fran propels into the Super Bowl. They go to the Super Bowl because their defense gets them there. Unlike Jimmy Garoppolo, where people say, what's a franchise quarterback? And a franchise quarterback is someone you win because of, not in spite of, or despite of. Yeah, not despite of. Like, everyone knows Jimmy Garoppolo isn't leading the 49ers to anywhere, but the 49ers are basically hitching Jimmy Garoppolo hitched the wagons to the Niners, and now they're taking him. Unlike the Dolphins, well, we haven't won the game without Tua. Right? It's a team sport and all the other good stuff. But it's funny because on one of our comments on YouTube, it was brought to my attention that Jimmy Garoppolo said something this week. And I'm like, hey, what did Jimmy Garoppolo say? And I haven't checked the comments yet again because I had to go look it up. I forget who it was in the comments. Whoever you were in the Go Time Dolphin comments on YouTube that brought it to our attention that Jimmy Garoppolo said something. I'm like, what did Jimmy say? And instead of waiting for his comment and his response, I went to just go look it up. Turns out, you got it, Kadeem?
Yeah. Shout out to JL1748.
Yeah, JL1748. Shout out to you. So, turns out, Jimmy Garoppolo said, the Miami Dolphins were in conversations for trading for me this season. And I'm like, you see this, Kadeem? This is like, and if you're watching on YouTube, we brought it up where Jimmy mentioned these comments, and he had all this stuff to say about what the Dolphins were doing and how it would have been a good fit for him, and if the timing was right, that trade would have went through, and they were in the conversation. And I'm thinking, Kadeem, they were in what conversation? Whose conversation were they in? Were they in your conversation with you and your agent? Like, hey, this is where I want to go. Like, the Dolphins are in that conversation? Or were the Dolphins talking about trading for Jimmy Garoppolo? Listen, bro, I doubt highly. Like, I don't even, bro. Dolphins ain't trading for Jimmy Garoppolo, bro. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo is the girlfriend that got dumped that tries to say, oh, yeah, I used to talk to X, Y, and Z after him. Like, bro, stop it, man. Like, you not nobody, Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, you gonna come and win a quarterback battle over Tua? You know what I'm saying? With the check that you was making too? Like, bro, did you not see Charlie Touche's quarterback rankings? He was 32nd on the quarterback rankings. Why would someone want the 32nd ranked quarterback getting paid like $25 million a year when they have Tua Tagovailoa as their quarterback, Kadeem? Please help me understand that.
It's probably because the former Miami Dolphins coaching staff severely hampered what Tua could do. Like, have you seen this whole thing about Brian Flores and the offensive coaching staff didn't want Tua to look defenders off, pre-snap and all that kind of stuff? Have you seen that conversation?
No, I haven't.
Basically, yeah, it came out this week on a different podcast that, the offensive staff last season basically told Tua to stop looking
defensive or offensive?
I believe it was the offensive staff.
Okay.
But basically told Tua to stop, looking off defenders while making passes. And obviously, you then get the situation where Mike McDaniel comes in and is like, so they said, what? Like, Mike McDaniel's words were along the lines of, I've never worked with a QB that can do what Tua does in terms of, looking off defenders before he makes a pass. And if you watch Tua in college, that's what made Tua so great. So to kind of further that sabotage that Tua went through, you can't imagine, but somewhere in this bizarre world where the Dolphins and Jimmy G are talking, whose side it is, it's probably his agent going, oh, by the way, Tua can't do this, so I can bring my client to come and do this. And Dolphins were like, thanks, but no thanks. We'll see you in the season. Best of luck to you and stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be people that will say that, given that Mike McDaniel has been in and around Jimmy G, he might have wanted a quarterback who was familiar with his system, and there were doubts about Tua. But if anyone saw, that plane ride when Mike McDaniel was, going to the Dolphins and a conversation with Tua, I believe that was genuine. I don't believe that McDaniel was saying that to Tua and then in the background trying to bring in Jimmy G to compete with the starting job. So, listen, I don't know what Jimmy G was thinking when he said that. Maybe he kind of got the whole narrative, skewed and stuff like that. But, behave yourself.
Kadeem, can you imagine a NFL quarterback in the quarterback meeting and the coaches say, hey, bro, I don't want you to look off defenders. And we're going to give you these one-read plays. Like, we're not good enough coordinators to scheme up better plays than the ones that we have from Fisher Price. So we're going to give you these Lego plays and don't look nobody off. Just please get it to the first read. Can you imagine that, bro? How many wins do you think that team would get? Like, how many wins do you think that quarterback could take that team to? It should be a better question.
No, the funny thing is, though, is that we literally saw that last season. And Tua took the Dolphins basically one game away from the playoffs.
One game away from the playoffs.
So, again, that's what's remarkable. If Tua was, and again, we're only going from what we've heard via players, via the media, all that kind of stuff.
Allegedly. It's all alleged.
It's all alleged. But you put all of that together, and what's not alleged is the Dolphins' record at the end of the season last year. What isn't alleged is the Dolphins' record with Tua as the starter since they drafted him. And Tua's record this season, when he started and finished games healthy, the Dolphins are 8-0. So there's nothing to... Well, there's a lot to stop the Dolphins from making it 9-0 with Tua as a starter. But I think, anyone who's like, oh, my days of playing the line is just going to be really, really scary. If you kind of stop and look at who they've played, what kind of offenses they've played, and what they've done as a team on offense as well, I'm confident. And I'm not a confident person in general.
Bro, we might have to stay here just a little bit longer on this one. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, listen, like when we heard the one read thing with the two offensive coordinators, we have two offensive coordinators. They're gonna, like, we haven't heard the two offensive coordinator system, and we thought that was kind of wild. And then we ran through like 5 different offensive line coaches. And now, a year later, we're still hearing more foolery, bro. Like, don't look off defenders. I just need that to sit in, bro. I just need that to sink in to are you... I can't even come up with a joke, bro. I can't come up with an analogy of how bad that is. Hey, listen, Tua, or not. Hey, listen, NFL quarterback, I don't want you looking off defenders. I want you to look exactly where the ball's supposed to go and throw it to that person. That's unbelievable to me.
I'm trying to find the clip because someone did clip it and it was remarkable.
A lot. While you looking for it, a lot of answers, a lot of questions getting answered right now, bro. Like when we were watching the season last year, when we went on a 7-game losing streak, and we were like, "Dang, what happened? What's going on?" And then Tua came back, went on a 7-game. Well, I don't want to say Tua came back and went on a 7-game win streak because he came back and he still lost to Jacksonville. So, but we went on a 7-game winning streak, and it's like even in the midst of all the disbelief. And then we had the 40 throw the ball 40 times in the rain game. To hear this type of information is no longer a surprise anymore. Because it was apparent that Flo was not the offensive mind. And not only was he not an offensive mind, he could not put quality offensive coaches on the offensive side of the ball. He couldn't do it. And now we're hearing stuff like this. And now we kind of derailed from the San Fran game. But go ahead, bro.
Sorry, I thought I found a clip, but it's a different whole other thing. But essentially, yeah, it's we are. I would say we're not the biggest Brian Flores haters.
No, we were Brian Flores supporters though. Like we matter of fact, I think it's fair to say, Kadeem, we rocked with Brian Flores all the way up to when he got fired, and then when he got fired, we was like, dang. I'm gonna be very clear. I still think Brian Flores is a good coach. Like I want to be fair. I still think he's a good coach, but he has deficiencies like other coaches, but his were just highlighted in ways that are unbelievable. But I still think two things could be true at the same time. Like if he fixes those deficiencies, he'll be a great coach or a better coach. But go ahead, my bad, I cut you off.
Well, no, because it's one of those things where there are a lot of Dolphins fans, and rightfully so, who have no time for Brian Flores. And I think there are some things that Brian Flores brought into the building, which when he left, I kind of want back. Something as simple as, just the lack of penalty the Dolphins had under him compared to now. It's definitely cleaned up over the last few weeks. I think it's not as bad as it was before. Again, we've sat here and questioned, just how good is this defense, and in terms of who was calling the plays last year, who's calling the plays this year, and was it a Brian Flores defense? Was it a Gerald Alexander defense? Was it a Josh Boyer defense? But the one thing you can't no longer deny with each of these passing stories is that he should be allowed nowhere near a NFL offense.
But I'm gonna be real with you. When I say Brian Flores was a good coach, I want to be very clear. I believe 85% of the Miami Dolphin fan base were shocked when Brian Flores got fired. And I want to say 50% or 60% of the fan base was like, oh, that's the wrong move. And we were among the 85 that were shocked. And I don't know. I can't say that we were amongst the 50% that said that was the wrong move. I think it was like, yo, that's crazy. But where do we go from here? With that being said, I still agree that, this man had to go when you find out some of the stuff that came out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to sit here on the podcast and say, yeah, Brian Flores is a good coach. We should have kept him, or I don't think we should have moved on from him, which is not what I'm saying. I do think we should have moved on from him. I do think we needed to go a different direction, especially with knowing all of this that's going on in the background. And to be like, to take a shot at the organization, our organization. It was still a year ago when y'all was moonlighting with Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just Brian Flores. So everybody's not off the hook. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's winning changes everything, bro. Suddenly everybody's face is clean in the organization, but y'all was moonlighted with Deshaun Watson. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, man, like I had to swing it back full circle to like, yo, I ain't forget. Hey, Dolphins receipt Twitter, dude, you need to bring the receipts up on that too. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's we could probably do a whole other episode on Brian Flores. I think, especially given what's come to light over the past few months and stuff like that. But Mike McDaniel returns to the team, which I think it's disingenuous to say that the team that made him, but it's definitely the team where his genius really started to come to light and stuff like that. And it's something which probably we could discuss it after No Huddle, but I think it's such a big point that we kind of want to get it in now. The Dolphins lose to Ron Armstead to a pectoral injury on Sunday, and so Sunday just gone. And most of us were just like, if we can get back the season, great, but it's not looking good. Mike McDaniel, I believe on Monday or Tuesday, was saying that he might even play this weekend. Like, don't put it past Armstead to come back. And in no way did you make this comparison, and I think in a slight against Teron Armstead, but you did say in terms of Teron Armstead's availability compared to Devontae Parker's is way too similar for my liking. The one thing I will say before you jump in, if this was Devontae Parker, there's no maybe Devontae Parker plays this Sunday. He's done. The fact that, spoiler alert for No Huddle, as of Friday, Armstead was practicing in a limited capacity. The dude has heart. That's the best way I can put it. What do you make of this whole Armstead situation?
Question to you is, do you think Armstead should play this week? Like, let's say we know where he's at, right? This is not the Tua concussion saga. This is a different injury. Either you can go or you can't go, where you're going to be limited. You're not going to be full strength. We might aggravate something and you might be out. With all that being said, where you at with, should we sit Armstead this week? Should we play him this week? Should we wait till next week and have him at 85% instead of 70%? Should we not play him for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then bring him back full strength? Where you at with everything, Armstead?
I would sit him on Sunday, honestly. There's probably of the next 3 road games, this is probably the hardest one in terms of, what this defense can bring, and the thought of a Bosa against Greg Little at left tackle is scary. I'm not going to lie, but I think the Dolphins can. I want to make it very clear. I think the Dolphins win on Sunday. I think the Dolphins can afford to lose to the 49ers, and it doesn't really hamper the rest of the season. I think what they can't afford to do is to chuck Armstead out there at, say, 50% and then lose it for the rest of the season. I don't think they can do that. So, like I said, I think the Dolphins win on Sunday with or without Teron Armstead. I think we do that. But I don't want to risk losing Teron Armstead, not just for the rest of the season, but the playoffs as well. I think it's great that Teron Armstead wants to play. And I think if this was a playoff game, I'd play him because you have nothing to lose. But it's not a playoff game. We are 8-3, and I would sit him. How about you?
He said something that I like. You said I can't remember it. I can't. My bad. Here's where I'm at though. We got to play back-to-back Bosa brothers. Like, we got 2 Bosa brothers back-to-back. I'm okay if he plays. I want to be fair. I'm okay if he plays. I'm not against it. I'm of the Pat Riley tree. If you could give me anything, then why aren't you giving me everything? You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with that because I do think a 70% Teron Armstead is better than 100% Greg Little. We could even swap out some percentages and still be better. So I still think you got to give me whatever you can give me. Now, if they say, hey, we don't want to risk it. Oh, that's what you said. You said if he came back and we hurt and we lost for the rest of the season. Thing is, Kadeem, if he sits 3 games and then comes back and ruptures it, we could still lose him then. So I don't. Yeah, I understand being cautious. So I'm of the mindset that we talk to the player and we talk to the doctor. If the doctor says he's good enough to go. And I don't think it'll risk too much. Then how do you feel? You know what I'm saying, Armstead? And he says, you know what, let me try it and give it a go. Cool, I'm good with that. If the doctor says, hey man, this is we're gonna be nursing this thing for the next 8 weeks, and then Armstead says, yeah, man, I'll see if I can give it a go. Then I say no. You know what I'm saying? So I guess in a short version answer, man, I just want one of these games in the next 3. You know what I'm saying? I just want to win one of these 3 games. And I do think winning the first of the 3 is helpful to us. I think there isn't a way we can sit him this game and then start him next game and then sit him the next. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I understand what you're saying about the playoffs and everything. This is playoffs is a whole different ballgame, but it's not the playoffs. So if it's me, just to answer the question, do I start him? No, I don't. I'll wait. I hope we win it, right? We win this game. Then I won't even start him the next game either, because now it gives us a cushion. It gives us some leeway. Like, all right, we can afford to lose, because we can afford to lose now. We don't like to lose, but we can afford it. And luckily for us, our quarterback gets the ball out in less than 2.5 seconds. So that's helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm just looking very quickly, and we say this quite a few times. We're going to say quite a few times over the next few weeks. We aren't, part of the Miami Dolphins team. So we can look at weeks down the line and stuff like that. And I'm looking at the AFC playoff picture. It's mental how we are currently the 5th seed. But I said weeks ago, all we've got to do is finish above. I think it's in the Chargers. We have a better record than the Chargers, and I think we make the playoffs. It's that simple. The Chargers are currently 6-5. We've got them next week. I reckon if we win, next week, we're kind of done, because the Ravens
when you say done, bro, it's usually looked at in a bad way.
So
when you say done, it sounds like we cooked.
Apologies. If we win this week, I think we are essentially safe. Safe is a much better word, because I think
way better.
Looking at the teams, the Bills are still going to mess up. The Bills don't look like what they were. And obviously Von Miller's now on IR, so he definitely misses the Miami game. The Titans are 7-4. They've got the 10-1 Eagles this week. Eagles probably win that. So the Dolphins, I think there's enough cushion, even this week alone. Titans against the Eagles. Listen, the Ravens are going to beat the Broncos. Nothing we can do about that. Bengals, Chiefs. Bengals have the Chiefs number, but I expect the Bengals to not beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs probably win that. And then the Jets have the Vikings, and the Vikings probably win that. Dolphins beat the 49ers, and what I just said happens. Dolphins probably move back up to the 2nd or 3rd seed, and again have enough of a cushion that they're going to be safe. Which probably goes to everyone saying, then play to an Armstead, because you can probably secure, or your percentage probably goes up to 85 to 90%. If you beat the 49ers. But like I said, I think the Dolphins will be able to beat the 49ers without Teron Armstead. I think Mike McDaniel is going to be a genuine fun matchup, because you're going to have Shanahan go in, well, I can stop the Mike McDaniel scheme because it's basically my scheme. And McDaniel saying, well, I can stop the Shanahan scheme because I've seen it up close and personal. I have a variation of it and all that kind of stuff. It will just come down to, in my opinion, which offense looks after the ball better. And Tua has 3 interceptions so far this season. It's going to be Tua.
The teacher versus the student. And when the Dolphins make it to the Super Bowl and play the 49ers, that's going to be the narrative the whole 2 weeks. Teacher versus the student. And a little bit different for Mike McDaniel. I think he has to get a little bit more credit than just, he was a guy under Kyle Shanahan. Not only was he a guy under Kyle Shanahan did not want this man to go. He paid him more, promoted him, made him OC. Now we don't want to lose the genius that is Mike McDaniel. They tried everything in their power to not let Mike McDaniel go. And the Dolphins were trying to make Mike McDaniel the offensive coordinator while Brian Flores was the coach to bring it all together. You know what I'm saying? When Brian Flores was the head coach, the Dolphins made a real attempt to make Mike McDaniel the OC. Can you imagine how suffocated Mike McDaniel would have been under Flores, bro?
Well, I was just going to say, could you imagine if you get this offense right now and then the Brian Flores defense that we've seen over the past few years? That could have been a lot of fun. But,
I don't know, Kadeem.
Let me finish. Because I said, but the issue probably would have been is that Brian Flores would have probably said to Mike McDaniel, these players are great, but I don't like them. They're a bit too complicated. So dumb it down to don't look at defenders. And you probably get Mike McDaniel and to like, have you seen Mike McDaniel mic'd up last week?
I did.
And the whole stuff like, Mike McDaniel is so much fun. And you can imagine Brian Flores going, that's too much fun. Single line.
Straight up, bro.
I straight forward.
Hey, no joke. Stop cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Like bro. Hey, I seen you smiling. I seen you and Tua smiling. No smiles allowed.
Two on the side saying, I've got swag. No, none of that, please. No swag in my dressing room. Swag only on defense. Like, shut up, man. Like,
bro, it's terrible, man. Yeah, man. So Mike, they would have been suffocated, bro, on the floor. But anyway, listen. Teacher versus the student. McDaniel doesn't get enough credit, and this matchup is going to be extremely fun, man. Let's get into no huddle.
Ignore the B. Like, it's the only paper I have around me. All our hats are in storage.
We gotta get this man a new headset, man.
Dude, yours is blue.
No, but see, mine is kind of more like ocean blue. Yours is like really Patriot blue and red, and Houston Texans blue and red. Mine is like ocean water blue. I thought I could like skate under the radar, but we got to do something about this.
Listen, I'm not on the Dolphins cool sheet in my hand here. That's me. That is me. So we have no huddle. Probably I'll do it this way. We only have the Thursday report, and I can kind of guess from what Mike McDaniel said on Friday, a bit of an update in terms of what we've had. But as of Thursday, Teron Armstead did not participate, but we know he had a limited practice on Friday. Friend of the podcast, Mars Gaskin, did not participate, and friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, did not participate. I believe both of those will be out on Sunday. QB2, Teddy Bridgewater, and Raheem Mostert were both limited. And then Jerome Baker, Tanner Connor, Keon Crossan, Raekwon Davis, Robert Jones, Kader Kohu, and Tua were all full participants on Thursday. Melvin Ingram did not participate on Wednesday, but that was due to vet rest. A few noticeable injuries from the 49ers is that Jimmy G was a full participant on Wednesday, had a knee injury, but Deebo Samuel was limited, as was Eric Armstead. Christian McCaffrey did not participate on Wednesday, but I believe on Thursday he said he'll be good to go. So that is the injury report. And then we have the weather in San Fran on Sunday. 58 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius?
58 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a pretty nippy day. I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty chilly. I thought it was gonna be a little higher than that, but I guess this doesn't constitute as a cold weather game. So today is the day where I say, all right, we're gonna school y'all. Hopefully we can help one of our high schoolers with the conversion, how to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. And since we're doing Fahrenheit to Celsius this week, I'll give you the formula just for Fahrenheit to Celsius. 58 degrees Fahrenheit is 14 degrees Celsius.
Can you show your working, please? you can't just drop the answer like that.
Hold on. Is it right?
It is right. Like spot on.
All right. Spot on, mate. So listen. So for everyone listening, I said I'm gonna get you right this week. I'm gonna get you right next week. I'm gonna get you right next week. So because we went Fahrenheit to Celsius this week, I give you the formula to break down Fahrenheit to Celsius. 58 degrees minus 30 is 38 degrees.
No,
I'm lying.
It's not. 28
degrees. I'm lying.
Yeah,
hey,
wow.
chill out. It's 28 degrees. Let me get this. Let me do this. 58 degrees minus 30 is 28 degrees. 28 divided by 2 is 14 degrees. So for any Fahrenheit to Celsius convert, what you want to do is subtract 30 and divide it by 2. So any temperature you give me in Fahrenheit, give me another one, Kadeem. And you could check it for us.
97.
97 degrees Fahrenheit minus 30 is 63.5. Divided by
97 take away 30. And you said 63. How did that make sense?
0.5. 63.5.
90. No, so was it 97?
Yeah.
So 97 take away 30.
All right. 97 take away 30. All right, my bad. Hey, this is how I messed up on the last podcast, bro. Because it's like,
I can literally see it.
See. So yeah. So this is how y'all. This is perfect. So y'all got to see me glitch and everything. So 97 minus what is it? 30?
Yep.
67, right? So I that's how I messed up last time. So 67 divided by 2.
Yeah.
34.5. 33.5.
So this has 36.1, but it's a difficult,
Right. So because you got the half in there. So when you subtract the 30, when you go from Fahrenheit to Celsius, you should be plus or minus 1.5 plus or minus degrees. So you still should be in the neighborhood, knocking on the right door, just probably at the wrong house, or right house, wrong door, however you want to do it. Celsius is a little bit more difficult than Celsius to Fahrenheit is more difficult than Fahrenheit to Celsius.
What's interesting is that Google says the formula is 97 degrees Fahrenheit minus 32, and then times 5 divided by 9. That just sounds way too complicated.
You feel, bro? Hey, I'm trying to tell you, bro.
But it's interesting. They said you take away 32 and not 30.
Bro, hey, Kadeem, bro, when I be on this podcast and I forget that we do this, I'm like, yo, it's even more pressure because I know we're recording. I'm like, yo, this is, you know what I'm saying? And then I throw out a number, I like, dang, I blew it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So anyway, let's get back to the simple, the easiest formula. And if you have multiple choice, you are automatically gonna knock it out. Easiest formula to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius is to subtract 30 and divide it by 2. Then it'll put you on most likely on the money.
Google says subtract 32 and multiply by 5. Subtract 32 and multiply by 0.5556. No one has time for that.
See, you're gonna confuse the people.
That's what Google says.
Hey, anyway. I'm Charlie Touche. I'm not Google.
I can tell. What do you have for fantasy?
Fantasy. Go Time Dolphins Fantasy Football League. I think I'm like living on a prayer. You know who sings that song, Kadeem?
John Bon Jovi. Got me today.
Okay. Hey, Kadeem, boy, you never know with Kadeem, but it's like rolling the dice with Kadeem. You never know what you're going to get with. You never know what you're going to get. So I'm living on a prayer in the Go Time Dolphins Fantasy Football League. But if I was, well, actually, since I do need some help, what I would do is start Tua. I would again start Jeff Wilson. And any league that is a 12 or more team league, I will start Jeff Wilson Jr. I will not start Raheem Mostert until he comes back and proves, okay, he's going to get significant touches. So if you have Raheem Mostert and you're in a league like the Go Time Dolphins Fantasy Football League, where it's 14 teams, I still wouldn't play him. Lock in Waddle, lock in Tyreek Hill. In any league with 10 or less teams, do not start Gesicki. 12 or more teams, fire him up. You might get lucky. I'm not starting Jason Sanders. I am starting the Dolphins defense because I think Garoppolo can give us a couple, and I like that. Although we haven't had this dominant D, I like to start Dolphins defense this game. On the other side of the ball, you got to start CMC. I'll start Garoppolo this game. starting Garoppolo, starting CMC in a 12-team or more league. You know what? I'm starting IU regardless of the size of the league. Gonna lock in Debo, gonna lock in Kittle, and I'm not starting their defense. I'll start their kicker.
You're not worried with Debo being limited in practice?
Nah, not even a little bit. And if you're a Go Time Dolphins listener, I like to think you're a Go Time Dolphins fan and a Dolphins fan. And if you start Debo, but the Dolphins get a W, shout out to you.
And very quickly, Shanahan said a couple of hours ago, Debo had to do something on Friday to be a game time decision. So it could be a situation where before, like by the time you listen to this, they've already ruled Debo out because he couldn't factor on Friday. So definitely one to look out for. Would hate to, start Debo Samuel because you didn't check the internet. So, listen, I don't know if Charlie's playing someone who had Debo Samuel and saying, yeah, lock in Debo Samuel. But, the rock over here, Kadeem Simmons, is saying, check the internet.
Hey, I think Debo's playing, and I think Armstead's not playing. I think it's just some gamesmanship going on.
Armstead said he's playing, so
I still say it's some gamesmanship going on.
I'm just saying, going by the word of Eric Armstead, he said he is
Eric Armstead.
What did I say?
I'm talking about Teron Armstead.
Oh, okay. I'll talk about their Armstead, who was like questionable.
Yeah.
So one,
I think they just keeping them in the conversation, just so San Fran has to prepare for us. I'm kind of mad I blew that Fahrenheit, that -30 on that 97. I was thinking too much. I blew it. I was mad, bro. I was like, dang, bro, on the podcast.
Massive of everyone, and that's fine. You are a musician.
So I can't know math because I'm a musician.
Well, I was gonna say you probably want to know. Count of 4, count of 8. If someone says to you, "Okay, write a 32," all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you need to know that.
Yeah, and you got quarter notes in there, and not only am I a musician, I got an engineer. I got to slice it up, use eighths and fourths and stuff like that. It's a lot.
I know, to be fair, I can say you kind of need to be good at math to be able to easy money. Because if not, I don't know why anyone would ever trust you. So, what have you got for easy money?
Hey, you know what? I was about to say one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite rappers, but it may not be podcast friendly. But it's a pretty dope line. So easy money. I wanted to do something different since we went into breaking down Fahrenheit to Celsius. I wanted to do easy money in real time on the podcast. So I just opened up DraftKings, the DraftKings app. And I'm gonna look at all the lines as we speak. Usually I'll be like, you know what? Let me go find some lines for the podcast so I can tell everybody, you know what, this is what I like. But this week, I'm going to look at them real time on the podcast. So let's see what we got. We got anytime touchdown, Christian McCaffrey. We have first touchdown, Christian McCaffrey. Let's see. This is how I do my process. Anytime touchdowns at the top. Let's see what our anytime touchdowns look like. Waddle got an anytime touchdown that's plus 150. That's a good one. Mike Gesicki plus 310. Myles Gaskin plus 400. Trent Sherfield plus 400. Tua plus 550. Craycraft. Hey, plus 550 for Craycraft. I ain't gonna lie, I like that, but I'm not gonna put nothing on it. But it's a nice little line to look at. So let's go to passing props. Last week, Tua Tagovailoa Tagovailoa was at 2.5 touchdowns. They moved his line up to 2.5 touchdowns. Out of all the quarterbacks in the league, Tua's line got moved up to 2.5. And I said I didn't really like the 2.5, but it was respectable because our quarterback was throwing 3 touchdowns a game for like 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row, 3 games in a row, something like that. So they moved the line on him. And I just brought out the app. Turns out Tua's back down to 1.5 touchdowns. 1.5 touchdown over under. I'm taking it. I'm taking the 1.5 over 1.5 over for Tua. Not sure if that's the easy money bet of the week though. Let's see if we can find something else. And this is the touche process. All right, I like the 1.5. Let's see what else we got. Since the Dolphins are underdogs, we could go Dolphin money line, or we could go Dolphins to cover the 4 points. But let's see what else we got in here. Let's go to game lines, see what they look like. Miami Dolphins win by more than 4 points. That's plus 268. So if the Dolphins beat San Fran by 5 points, you get plus 268. That's a good line right there. Doesn't strike me better than the Tua line though. Let's see what else we got. Let's go to receivers. See what they talking about with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Receptions, George Kittle, Tyreek, Debo. Tyreek Hill, 7.5 receptions. Jalen Waddle, 5.5 receptions. That's on par for what it usually is. And if I'm being real with you, I always take the 7.5. It used to be 6.5. We got that line moved up because we were smacking them so long. I always take 7.5. I always take 5.5. And if we look at their yards, receiving yards, it's over 66.5 for Waddle and over 90.5 for Hill. I'll always take that Waddle number. I may not take that Hill number all the time, but it's a comfortable number. And since we looked at this real time, I could tell you right now that the bet of the week, easy money bet of the week, because they gave it back to us, is Tua over a touchdown and a half. And that's going to be the easy money bet of the week. So y'all got to hear me talk it out real time. Look at the bets as I seen them. Y'all got the bets as I seen them. And if I'm looking, let's see what else is on here. Let's go with halftime. Halftime, full time. No, we're not doing that this week. We cashed out on that the other week. But what do you think what's your score prediction for this game, Kadeem?
I think this is going to be a high scoring tight game to some degree. No, I think it's going to be I am going to go 29-20 to the Dolphins.
29-20 Miami.
I think Jason Sanders is going to have himself quite a decent day on Sunday.
29-20 Miami. So the over-under is 46.5. Kadeem likes it to be 49 points scored. So Kadeem likes the game to go over.
Just.
I think it will be 27-20. Talking about the line. Like I didn't do that on purpose. I said 46.5 and I just said 47 points. That's crazy. So approach the over under with caution. But ultimately the Miami Dolphins get the W, improve to 9-4, go back up to first place in it. 9-3. Improve to 9-3, ultimately recover first place in the division. And Tua is going to cash us out again and keep our easy money streak going. I like it. I like it a lot. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time.
Kind of moving away from the Dolphins ever so slightly, or a lot slightly, but I know this is something which is really close to your heart. So obviously, we've seen a lot in modern society, modern media about, giving people their flowers while they're still alive, all that kind of stuff. Someone posted on social media, no, the people who don't give Ludacris his flowers, the featuring Ludacris era was amazing. You know, underrated rapper, all that kind of stuff. And someone I know said, Ludacris is the best rapper out of Atlanta. Don't at me. It's Charlie Touche. Who is the best rapper out of Atlanta?
Before I answer that question, me and LB were I don't know if we was on a road trip. I don't know what we were doing. I don't know what me and LB were doing, but me and LB just had this conversation not even 10 days ago. Like, yo, Ludacris is the most underappreciated rapper ever. Not just out of Atlanta. Ludacris is the most underappreciated rapper ever. No one, like, yeah, they appreciate him. And I can't say he's underrated, but he's underappreciated for sure. The man dropped the craziest lines. He's always consistent, always delivers, never disappoints, ever. But he's not the best rapper out of Atlanta. He's not the best rapper out of Atlanta.
I literally responded. So I responded with a gif of the best rapper out of Atlanta sipping tea, like swirling a gun on his finger. It's an amazing gif, yeah. And I think my boy was like, okay, my personal opinion is Luda. I was like, okay, your personal opinion, fair enough. But you can't say with your chest that it's Luda, because who do you think is the best rapper out of Atlanta?
Andre 3000.
Yeah. I was like,
bro, man, I love Ludacris too, because I hate Ludacris. You know what I'm saying? I hate I had to do this. But Ludacris is the most underappreciated rapper of all time. Underappreciated. Doesn't mean he's the top 5 of all time. He's just the most underappreciated of all time. But it's unfortunate. First of all, Luda ain't even from Atlanta. But I understand what he means to Atlanta and what Atlanta means to him. So to be fair, you know what I'm saying?
So is he from Georgia?
He's from Illinois.
Okay.
But all right, so there's a discrepancy, because I don't like when people, you know, oh, you're not from here, you weren't born and raised here. Like, yo, he might not have been born and raised there, but he put on for more people than people from Georgia put on. You know what I'm saying? And he you got, like you said, give him his flowers. Nah, bro. He earned, I don't want to even say earned it. Like, he is still Atlanta, although he was not born there. You know what I'm saying? And people try to slight him for that. Oh, you weren't even born here. All right, bro. All the stuff that Ludacris did for Atlanta, y'all gonna tell him say something like that? You feel me? That's disrespectful. And it still plays into what I'm saying. Like, yo, this man's not appreciated. You feel me? But Andre 3000, the year of the fair is already here. Must look beyond. Nah, bro. Hey, hey, what's your favorite off the top? Maybe it's not your favorite Andre 3000 verse, but what's the first verse that comes to mind from Andre 3000? If I say, hey, give me an Andre 3000 verse.
It's his verse on 16 with Rick Ross. To me, that verse is just like amazing. Like that, yeah. And it's weird. Like, I'm an Andre 3000 fan. I'm an Outkast fan, but like my favorite Outkast song is Prototype, which is essentially just Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Like, I love that song. But yeah, my favorite Andre verse is 16 Rick Ross. Like, just
I hope that you're the one. If not,
it's
you
classic.
are the prototype.
The video as well. The video's so like spacey and out there. Yeah.
Favorite 3 Stacks verse. We're gonna end it with this one. Leather in the summer, silk in the winter. This is such an art. Where do I begin? Used to sing tenor in the church choir. Really, I was flexing, but the girls, they were fire. I'm the type of guy that knows subtle signs when I cuddle mine. She ain't even trying to look sexy, but even if she was, so what? Grow up. Don't mean to be so abrupt, but that lets me know that she's a human being, and being human's hard on the boulevard. Girl, you got it bad. Glad I'm not one, but yet you got it good. You are the hot one, but I'm Andre, Benjamin Andre to be exact. You hope to meet a gentleman one day? Well, this is that. And we're going to end right there. Like, what is that, my dog?
I have to end it somewhere else. I'm really, really sorry. but I think you get.
I know. I was going to end it right there
Okay,
because I didn't want to say the whole. I didn't want to say the whole verse.
So I'll end it here. To anyone who has posted their Spotify Wrapped, over the past few days, and anyone who's going to post their Spotify Wrapped, if Go Time Dolphins in your top 5, we genuinely appreciate you so much. Shout out to Mike Madrip and others who have posted it so far. To be in someone's top 5 podcast for the year, we appreciate you so much. So thank you.
Big up, man. Like y'all help us keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fun to do this with my dog Kadeem, but it's more fun when we know people enjoy it and appreciate it. Music.